Hello YouTube viewers, hope everyone is doing well. Welcome to Web APIs using .NET 5 series. In this video we will create a very simple Web API which will return a simple string. Web API is up and running. There are a few assumptions I am making in this tutorial that you already know the concepts of REST API. If you would like me to create a video on that as well, please let me know in the comments. Let's open Visual Studio and start building our first REST API. Start the Visual Studio and click on Create New Project. Select ASP.NET Core Web API and make sure it's C#. Click on Next and give it a name. Let's say Sample API. The location, you can save it where you would like, but I would like to save it in C drive, tutorial, and .NET folder. Solution name, you can leave it the same. Click on Next. Make sure the target framework is .NET 5. You can leave the authentication type none for now. We'll talk about it later. You can leave configure for HTTPS as well selected. We'll talk about that as well. You can uncheck enable Open API support for now. We'll talk about that as well in the future videos. Click on Create. Give it some time. Visual Studio will create a template project for us, which we can start using to build our REST API. So as you can see, Visual Studio has created a project for us. Let's talk about what Visual Studio has done for us here. So Visual Studio has created a folder controllers, and then we have app settings.json file here as well, program.cs, startup.cs. We'll talk about each file in the later videos as well. And here we have a weather forecast.cs file, and if you expand controllers folder, you'll see there is a weather forecast controller.cs as well. For our API, we don't need these two, so we're going to delete these. Delete weather forecast.cs and delete weather forecast controller.cs as well. Now what we are going to do is create a controller, a very simple basic controller. Let's right click on the controller and click on Add New Item, and from the list of items select API controller empty, and instead of values change that to status. So what we'll do is we'll create a status controller or status endpoint, which will just return a simple string that will tell us whether our web API is up or running or not. So let's create a get endpoint. So we have to write HTTP get inside the square brackets and create public string status, and let's return a simple string. Web API is up and running. Semicolon. Now let's build our project. So right click on sample API project and click build. It takes some time to build it since this project was never built before. As you can see, the build is successful. Now we can run the project. There are two ways we can run the project. We can either click on run under IIS Express, or we can press F5. So let's for now run under IIS Express and click on this button. So what Visual Studio is asking here is that would you like to trust the SSL certificate? So click on yes. We'll talk about these in the future videos as well, but for now just click on yes. As you can see, Visual Studio is starting our project. Now since we deleted these this file weather forecast, so Visual Studio is trying to start that by default. and since it won't be able to find that file, we'll get a page not found. So check our status API. All we have to do is API slash status, that's the route, and press enter. And as you can see, the web API is up and running, is returned. As you can see, for HTTPS, the localhost, it's running on 44355 port, and the route is API slash status. Let's close this and let's change that so that by default, whenever this API project starts, it goes to status. So right click on sample API project and click properties and go to debug and change this to API slash status and save. We'll talk about each tabs and each properties in future videos as well. Just for now, change that to API slash status and click on IIS Express run again. Give it some few seconds. As you can see, by default now it's going to API slash status page. Give it a few seconds. As you can see, web API is up and running, is returned and displayed. If you like to run using your keyboard, then you can simply press F5 and it will start the project in the debug mode, and then you'll see that it will return web API is up and running as well. Give it a few seconds. As you can see, now we see web API is up and running as well. So what we have done now is that we have written our first API, which is just returns the status whether our API project is up and running as well. And we'll talk about these items in future videos. That's all for this video. As always, if you have any questions, comments, or feedback, please leave them below. Click that like button. Likes are always appreciated. Please subscribe to get notified whenever a new video is uploaded. Thanks for watching. I'll see you in next video.